Bryson DeChambeau, the leader after round number 1, which is still currently underway, but Bryson in front. A 7 under par 65 in his opening 18 holes. Bryson sits atop the leaderboard at Augusta.
Yeah, he was sensational yesterday, and you thought there was maybe a shot that Scottie Scheffler was going to chase him down on the back nine. That is electric golf playing on opening day here. Now, granted, you had some scoring conditions, as we know being golfers. A little bit of moisture out on the golf course slows the greens down, not because you can make better putts. It's because you can actually go at flag sticks, where this weekend it's going to dry out, makes it a lot harder. So the guys that got out early and shot extremely well, that's going to be a huge bonus for this weekend with guys like DeChambeau and Scheffler.
And because of the rain that we expected, which actually wasn't as bad as first thought, we did have to delay the end of the opening round. So guys like Tiger Woods on the course already at Augusta. I need 2 more birdies or better out of Tiger to cash a big plus money ticket in his final 5 holes. Now, Bryson in front at the moment, 1 in front of Scottie Scheffler. Will have plenty more reaction around the 2024 Masters. Nikolai Hogard at 5 under par has 2 more holes remaining to end out his opening round. Could technically tie Bryson DeChambeau for that opening round lead. Now, some big college basketball news. Nate Oates said no. Dan Hurley said absolutely not. And then yesterday, Scott Drew, as we shared with you, Baylor's head coach decided that he was going to stay in Waco. So reports late last night, the Kentucky Wildcats are hiring former player and current BYU head coach Mark Pope. Mark Pope becomes the new leader of Big Blue Nation.
Here's the tough scene, and I equate it to the NFL draft that's coming up. When your team selects a player where you're not sure and you go, who? It typically never works out. I'm not doubting Mark Pope can't be a great coach, but I'm just telling you right now, if Big Blue Nation was like, good luck, Cal, we can't stand you anymore, be on your way, we're ready for our next superstar head coach, a lot of Big Blue Nation's waking up today going like, well, I hope it works out. So talk to me about this, Ben. They're talking themselves into this guy being a great hire. That's a tough situation down there in Kentucky country.
I cannot wait to have this debate. It's not the sexiest hire. I would agree with that. It's not Dan Hurley. It's not Billy Donovan. But it's a really good hire for Kentucky. A guy that won a national championship in Lexington, understands what it takes to succeed at Big Blue Nation. And outside of his history in Lexington, is just a darn good basketball coach. I'll wager anything you would like, DRS, that Mark Pope leads Kentucky to a Sweet 16 before John Calipari leads Arkansas to a Sweet 16. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, though, in the show. A lot to get to here in this 7 in 7. We go around the association. Huge win for New Orleans last night in California's capital against the Sacramento Kings. The Pels with a big victory on the road as a slight underdog. There you see the final score. New Orleans wins by double digits, 135-123. New Orleans has solidified, it seems at the moment, the 6th spot in the Western Conference, a full game in front of the Phoenix Suns.
There's 3 teams I just can't get a grip on here, and they're all in the Western Conference. And 2 of those teams played last night head-to-head, Pelicans, Kings, and also the Suns. I thought, the Kings are at home. Maybe they'll stand up. Absolutely not. I won't be surprised if any one of those 3 teams gets bounced early, like first round early, heading into the playoffs. But that's a nice win for the Pelicans. Can't deny that. I just don't know what's going on with the Kings right now.
The Pels control the fate of the 6th seed, again, with that full game advantage with only 2 games and 3 days left in this NBA regular season over Phoenix. So Sacramento locked into a play-in spot, as is Golden State. But a lot to figure out in terms of who is playing who and where that play-in tournament game in the Western Conference will be held. The Dubs without Draymond Green nor Klay Thompson last night go into Portland. They were booked as a 13.5-point favorite. They don't cover the number, but they do win comfortably, 100-92. Steph had 5 threes to lead Golden State in scoring with 22. Golden State gets the win, but do not cover.
Yeah, I didn't want to lay the 14. I told you to take that 8.5 in the first half, and that's still lost. A couple of key contributors sitting out, but a walk in the park, basically, for the Warriors as they move on here, hopefully trying to overtake the Lakers. Look, Trailblazers are bad. You went on the road, you got a victory. That's all you can ask for.
Plenty of Around the Association updates to set up the final weekend of this regular season coming your way later in this opening hour. Major League Baseball news. The Royals sweep the Astros in Kansas City in this midweek set. KC has now won 7 straight games. The Royals off to a 9-4 start in this MLB campaign.
Tough scene for Brown yesterday. The starting pitcher yesterday for the Houston Astros didn't even make it out of the first inning, giving up double-digit hits and close to double-digit runs before he was sent to the showers. An easy walk-away winner here, and you're never going to know it. The first place Royals and the last place Astros might have to get used to that. Wow.
13-3. We'll recap what went down in Kaufman a little bit later on. Some more Major League Baseball news. Jordan Montgomery, who signed late this offseason because he was a Scott Boras client, dropped Scott Boras, who a lot of people thought held up some free agency and that hot stove this winter.
Yeah, it's great news here. If everybody dumps Scott Boras, Major League Baseball will be better off because of that. I love the fact that he held his players out and it didn't work this time around, and players are getting upset by that. Good for the Major League Baseball Players Union if they decide to kick Boras to the curb.
And some new news in terms of the criminal complaint against Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara. The feds saying that Mizuhara stole $16 million from Shohei Ohtani for his illegal bet. Talk about that later on. Golf next.